Well,
Go for what you feel and deal with it.
let's take a vote. Who wants to clap after the song? Here we go. Welcome to the old boatman's home. My name is Johnny Buffalo, singer, songwriter, guitar picker, and the hardest working boatman this side of the Salmon River.
That's debatable.
I am here tonight with a circle of friends and fellow riverwarts to present an assortment of campfire stories, music, and poetry like you have never heard before. Let's begin with an ancient, old-fashioned, welcoming home song. It's a call-and-response sing-along, and everyone's welcome to join in. Onka-ronka, shaw-wa-shaw.
Onka-ronka, shaw-wa-shaw.
Home to wa, shaw-wa-shaw.
Home to wa, shaw-wa-shaw.
Onka-ronka, home to wa.
Onka-ronka, home to wa.
Home, home, welcome home.
Home, home, welcome home.
Home. Mighty fine singing. And George, thank you for that overtoning. Are we going to hear more of that tonight?
I imagine we can. We'll do some drum talk for the people here, and we will get the group involved. But first, let's hear the Boatman's Lament.
Well, I'll be glad to play that Boatman's Lament, George. You know, I wrote this song to illustrate how being a river guide is not always as fun and easy as it often appears. Why, there are many difficult situations and adverse conditions out there on the river that a fella has to be able to handle with grace.
Come on, Johnny Buffalo, quit your yakking. Play us that Boatman's Lament. Play it solo, would you? So low we can't hear you.
Well, that's a perfect example of what I was just talking about. Yes, sir, working as a boatman is a tough way to make a living, I tell you. Awful tough. Woe is me, I'm a river guide. Last to bed and the first to rise. Camp's a mess and the stove won't flame. Boats need air. Here comes rain. The water's low and it's no fun to row. My paycheck is already spent. It might seem to you I'm singing the blues. It might seem to you I'm singing the blues. It might seem to you I'm singing the blues. But it's only the boatman's lament. So pack it in, tie it down, haul it up, set it out. That's the work I'm lamenting about. Cook, serve, clean it up and put it away. Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day. Telling stories like I ain't got a care. Squinting at the sun and braced against the cold. Feeling like a kid, but slowly growing old. As I lie to sleep upon this matted bed of pine, I gaze at falling stars and think what I wished were mine. I dream of wealth and fame, going far and wide. But all along this long trail of years, I still long for river time. 'Cause everything we will ever need, I can find in river time. What exactly is river time? I was once asked by a prospective employer. Oh, that's simple, I replied. River time is when you wake up in the morning and it's time for breakfast. Before long, it's time to make time, so down the river we go. It's just a matter of time before lunchtime, and by that time, it's time to spend time fishing, don't you think? Of course, you know how time flies when you're having fun. And before you have time to realize that you're practically running out of time, why, it's break time. Whew, just in the nick of time. Because a fella needs time to unwind from a time-filled day. Dinner gets served and eaten in a timely fashion, and then not wanting to be pressed for time in the future, I like to bide my remaining time preparing for more good times come tomorrow. When you're on river time, time is always on time. And there's no time like the present. Sit around a campfire, talk about old times before bedtime. Well, that prospective employer was impressed, but nevertheless said, "I'm sorry, Johnny Buffalo, but I don't think we have a job that will fit your description." Well, he was a nice fella, so I thanked him for his you-know-what, and said, "That's all right, sir. I'm a professional river guide, and I don't like to waste time a-working anyway." So pack it in, tie it down, haul it up, set it out. That's the work I'm now boasting about. Serve, clean it up and put it away. Here we go, it's a beautiful day. River, wind-blown hair, telling stories like I ain't got a care, squinting at the sun, braced against the cold, feeling like a kid, so let the good times roll. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm no Casanova Jack, but I've often said that my music is a lot better than it sounds. And tonight, playing with an all-star backup band like the Dreamboats, it's my chance to prove it.
Man, that was a mighty splendid song, Johnny Buffalo. But doesn't it bend one of the most important rules of the river? Thou shalt not complain. I'll never forget the morning when I made the mistake of saying, "Oh, this coffee is hot." My little comment was judged a complaint, and I was quickly handed the apron, washcloth, and pot scrubbers. In the following days, I tried everything I could to get out of that kitchen work. I burned the biscuits. I combined unusual ingredients. I served small portions. I put in too much salt, too much pepper. No matter what I tried, that crew of experienced hands would not complain. I was desperate to be released of that unglamorous work. And one morning, as I was gathering wild berries for the morning cobbler, an ingenious idea occurred to me. I found stink bugs, grasshoppers, crickets, caterpillars, moths, jumping spiders, hard to catch, snails, slugs, and all manner of ooey-gooey things, and put them into my bucket, along with a few berries. Soon I had gathered quite a gooey assortment of bugs, and some were crunchy. Then, with a style and flair that would rate right up near the top, even by today's standards, I proceeded to blend them into the cobbler mix. I braided strips, I looped the edges, and I sprinkled on top a generous dose of cinnamon and brown sugar so I could disguise the aroma that I knew was going to come out of that simmering Dutch oven. 30 minutes later, the cobbler was done, and I was tingling with anticipation as the crew began to arrive for breakfast. I was not so pleased, however, when the massive and muscular frame of Chisel McBrawn appeared first, spoon and bowl in hand, ready to eat. Chisel McBrawn was well known throughout the Salmon River country as the Rowan Idahoan. He was tough, fearless, and calm under pressure. To make matters worse, Chisel, being our most experienced crew member, rarely spoke. And when he did, he preferred to use the river pirates' two-word vocabulary. I, when he agreed, and arr when he didn't. I had no choice but to serve up a generous helping of Cobbler to Chisel and hope for the best. There's somebody that wants Cobbler. I watched Chisel as he sat down and spooned up a mouthful of Cobbler. His first chews appeared to satisfy, but slowly his expression transformed into a disgusting look of disbelief, at which point he stood up and bellowed, "Great walls of wild white water! This here is bug cobbler!" I was just about to point out his complaint when Chisel quickly recovered his composure and added, "Aye, just the way I like it."
That was a story that we give credit to Utah Phillips. We've cobbled it up just a little bit. Say, George, this might be a good time to introduce Drum Talk.
Sure thing, Johnny Buffalo. Drum talk is talking like a drum. Dum, ta ta ka dum, ta ta ka ta ka dum ka ding dum ta dum. Ta ka ta dum ka ta ka get ta da dum ta chika ta ka ta dum ta chika ta ka ta chika ta ka ta chika dum ta ka tin na ta ka ta ka dum ka ga da ta ta dum dum. Ta ka ta dum ka ta ga ki na det ka dum. And so, if you can say it, you can play it. If I say dum ta ta ka dum ta ka ta dum dum ta ka dum. So that's what we mean by if you can say it, you can play it. So now we're going to do it in different sections with our found sounds. We've got stones, hand claps, one of the best found sounds, goes with you wherever you go, and sticks.
You get one, Randy. Everybody else gets two.
So here we go. 3 different people leading the groups all at the same time. We call this ostinato choir. Ostinato is a big fancy word, and it just means simple, looping, repeated pattern. And a choir is what you guys are, a whole bunch of people divided into sections, doing different things all at the same time. Now, I'll take the hand clappers. Tall Paul's got this. Jane's got this. Let's see what happens. And pay very close attention, start and stop. It's really cool if just one group or just 2 groups are playing at a time. Leave spaces in your patterns. Here we go. Not bad. Did you say? Okay. Now we will do this later on a special piece that Johnny Buffalo has put together just for this occasion. Excellent. Clap for yourselves.
Are there any swing dancers among us tonight? All right, well, good. Let's open up the dance floor. because here's a danceable little tune you might enjoy entitled The Whitewater Waltz Breakdown. That was some fancy footwork out there. Let's hear it for the dancers. Bravo. Here is an artistic presentation by fellow campfire aficionado, Steve Snyder.
Live on planet Earth in Milky Way galaxy, surrounded by universe. Call myself Gus, galactic, universal self. The name of this poem, story, song mix is Water. Just water. And the word just is grounded in the big beat heart start of universe mechanics. The law of real. The tail end of a stormy weather day quiets down for the night. And under late spring, early evening clouds, a sundown shaded bluebird skips across high desert sage. And 5 red-winged blackbirds in squadron formation head up valley towards slanted, drizzly veils of sky bluish, like gray rain squalls, sifting out of the bottom of a drifting, purplish cloud. And winds bring snowmelt sounds, far and near, loud and soft. Water. Water, the earth's blood. Water, the denominator of existence. Water, birthing, nourishing, spawning, sprouting. Water, just water. And in a boggy meadow, a gangly pair of sandhill cranes lift off, headed down valley, wings gulping air. Their deep, guttural, ratcheting primal source cry songs, echoing from old growth cottonwoods. Karata, 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 karata. And a singular duck flies, a tight bundle of measured harmony, a sleek, waterless dolphin of energy. Then a tandem pair of Canada geese wing into the gathering night, one doing a barnyard goose honk, the other doing a nasally honk, 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 honk. And in the faded sunset twilight glow, in between the rapidy roars, the river does a silent flow, a river of glass, mirroring aspens, willows, and grass. Water. Water sipped, water lapped by the tongue of earthly life. Water. Just pure water.
Here is a classic campfire drum-along entitled Geronimo. Everyone is welcome to join in. As you know, here at the OBH, we are guided by a collection of field-tested and time-proven truisms known as rules of the river. One of my favorites is, when you're having fun, don't be in a hurry. In honor of having fun, I suggest we slow things down a bit and take a short intermission. Let's bring out the campfire in a can and rustle up some skewers. Anybody want to roast marshmallows? Yeah. Whether outside at a crackling campfire or just entertaining with friends, here at the OBH, few things are as popular as freshly toasted marshmallows. Mmm. And I don't want parents to worry. These are the organic, all-natural marshmallows.
Don't panic, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, who else would like marshmallows? I'll have a marshmallow then.
Marshmallow fire.
How's that marshmallow? Mmm, tasty.
Make it sound good.
Mmm,
Colors and everything.
that's almost as good as bug cobbler.
Is that the radio marshmallow?
Must be there.
Well, Johnny, I think it tastes like, it's sweet and it tastes like fun. Makes me think of the river every time I have one.
Such exquisite technique.
Anybody else want a marshmallow? They're pretty good. I'll give you a better shot, Bill. Try it again. Off the wall. While the kids are finishing off those marshmallows, let's listen in while George and Erasmo hold an improvisational campfire conversation.
A well-rounded evening at the old Boatman's home wouldn't be complete without a scary story. Does anyone want to hear a scary story?
Yeah.
Could I share your fire? Eh? Oh, yeah? I don't see many kids around here. But I like to look at your little faces in the firelight. Oh, yeah. It's good to be in here at the Boatman's home. I live on that mountain up there behind you. It's just a cave, but I don't have to register with the police. Okay, you want to hear a scary story? Eh? Oh, yeah. I know the one that'll make your skin twitch uncontrollably and cause you to shiver and shake as if ice water were being pumped through your little veins. I know one that'll raise your prickly hairs on the back of your neck like porcupine quills and put your entire nervous system on red alert. Are you sure you want to be scared right out of your wits? Well, I've got one for you, all right. But don't blame me if you wake up in the middle of the cold, dark night screaming your little guts out because of the nightmare you've just had. Oh, yeah. Normally, I wouldn't even mention the name of these beastly carnivores. But since you're feeling so brave tonight, oh, yeah. In this neck of the woods, there live creatures so horrible, even grizzly bears cringe in fear of them. Oh, yeah.
Grizzlies? Here? At the old Boatman's home?
Oh, we've had many grizz sightings right here in this neighborhood. Thirsty little vampire bats, too. I kind of like them. Equipped with long, sharp fangs and the ability to silently sneak into your tent, and with one nasty bite, turn you into a Whitewater zombie. Luckily for us, the full moon just passed. Our present situation is desperate enough without the added worry of vampires. The hideous monsters I'm talking about stalk their victims 24 hours a day. They are the ultimate predators, and they rule a bloodthirsty food chain that not only includes but actually prefers the soft, tender flesh of humans like you. Now, I don't want to make anyone nervous. Oh, yeah. And perhaps I shouldn't even be saying this, but I feel obligated to warn you. I've recently seen signs that lead me to believe it very likely that one or more of these vicious brutes may be spying on us at this very moment. Well hidden, to be sure. Watching and patiently waiting for one of us to innocently stroll by so it can pounce upon us! What do you think about that?
Thanks, that was a good story. But those things aren't real, are they?
I sense that some of us have come to the conclusion that this is a make-believe story. Believe me, everything I've said is true, and the events I've described could tragically happen to any one of us. So tonight, I advise you, before going to sleep, let's all remember one thing: to check for ticks.
Speaking of scary stories, I know one that you fishermen might enjoy, entitled The Fisherman's Nightmare. Last summer I was fishing along the Selway River up in northern Idaho and got chased up an aspen tree by a large grizzly bear. A very hungry-looking grizzly, scientifically known as Ursa horribilis. but also referred to by mountain men as Ursa catches and eat us. I was up that tree hanging on for dear life as that grizz was trying to push it over and shake me out. I was whipping him on the nose with my fishing rod, and finally he became discouraged and lumbered back into the forest. I tried to compose myself because I was shaking quite vigorously from the effects of fear and adrenaline. In fact, I was trembling with such intensity. The leaves on that aspen tree turned orange and dropped to the ground, thinking that fall had arrived. Just as I regained control of my wits and was about to descend, that grizzly bear returned with another grizzly. You would not believe how those two bears worked together, pushing and pulling, trying to knock that aspen tree over. The bears finally tired out and walked back into the forest, grunting to each other. As soon as they disappeared from sight, I leaped to the ground running, jumped into my boat, and began paddling away as fast as I could. Lucky for me, too, because as I was stroking downstream, I looked back to where I had been treed and saw that those two bears had returned. And you know what they had with them this time?
A chainsaw.
Another grizzly?
Nope, a beaver. They might have tried to knock it down with their bare hands, too, but they didn't think of that, I guess.
Was that a blatant attempt to punish us, Jason?
Yes, it was. All right. Thank you very much. This is a beautiful Jimi Hendrix tune entitled Little Wing. How about some of you rosy-bottomed skinny dippers out there? Help us out by chirping in with a few of your favorite bird calls.
The life cycle of Idaho's endangered Chinook salmon, scientifically known as Onkaronka shawasha, is a remarkable story of survival fraught with perseverance, romance, and mystery. Their story begins in the early spring, as newly hatched salmon fries emerge from their yolks at one of many spawning beds known as redds along the headwater stretch of the Salmon River in central Idaho. As the runoff from the snow-filled Sawtooth and White Cloud Mountains begins to swell the river, young salmon smolts begin their 800-mile downstream migration to the Pacific Ocean, where, with luck, they will grow to maturity within 3 to 5 years. Now mature, the powerful adult Chinooks respond to a biological urge and re-enter fresh water at the mouth of the Columbia River and begin their 800-mile upstream journey back to Idaho, where they will reproduce and die. Currently, the chances of a Salmon River-born Chinook salmon successfully getting to the Pacific Ocean and making it all the way back to spawn are less than 0.1%. How a mature salmon navigates its way back to Idaho and then knows when to stop and spawn at the exact same red where it was hatched is a mystery to biologists and one of Mother Nature's best kept secrets.
Discovering the answers to these secrets of nature can sometimes be just as puzzling as the mystery itself. Like what happened to me a few years back while boating along the upper stretch of the Salmon River. It was a spawning season, so we pulled over to shore near one of the old salmon spawning redds for a look-see. While the crew took a short hike to an observation point, I stayed behind to catch up on a few chores. It was cool and overcast that day, but I had a strange desire to go for a swim. There was something alluring about the clear, gentle-moving river which I could not resist. I lowered myself into the water and was soon rolling and writhing about on the rounded pebbles of that shallow gravel bar. It felt invigorating, so I continued to wiggle and work my way along until I came to the edge of a deep pool. I was in the zone, totally relaxed, yet intensely aware of my oneness with the river. I felt a sense of belonging that I had never before experienced in water. So I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and fish-like slid off that gravel bar into a deep pool of luminescent green. I opened my eyes and am overwhelmed by the natural beauty and serenity of this riverscape. Weightless, I plunge into woven textures of water and light. I am mesmerized and feel out of touch with my former perception of reality. A tingling sensation is rolling through my body. When it finally subsides, I am amazed to discover that both my arms have shortened and are now fin-like appendages. My legs are welded together, and my feet have transformed into a sleek and powerful tail fin. A protective layer of scales cover my entire body, and gills gently quiver from opening flaps where my neck used to be. What is happening to me? Can I be imagining this incredible sequence of events? Am I human, or am I salmon? Gentle currents massage my girth. I can smell and taste the sweet aromatic flavor of freshly melted alpine snow. I feel and hear a throbbing that is pulsating through the water in waves of rhythmic energy. What is this aquatic vibration, and where is it coming from? I stop all thinking and allow my fish instinct to guide me. I sink effortlessly, arching against the current, exploring and expanding my consciousness. Intuitively, I now realize that this omnipresent throbbing sound is the living heartbeat of the Salmon River. Unique and unmistakable, I know this organic heartbeat as the beacon which has guided me back to the river of my birth. Flashes of silver and gold catch my eye, and there, swaying back and forth in the shadows, are 8 magnificent Chinook salmon. They move with grace and poetic purpose. With delicately syncopated body gestures, they beckon me to join them. I want to, but am I human or am I salmon? I am now in fluid harmony with the Chinooks, joyfully dipping, diving, and dancing to music which seems to originate from the nearby spawning bed. How could that be possible? Who is singing this strange song, and why does it haunt me? I swim closer to investigate. The melody is familiar, and yes, now I remember. This is the same song that greeted me years ago as I emerged into the great circle of life as a newly hatched salmon. Hearing it again reminds me of my sacred birthright and connection to all creation. I have been swimming upstream for the past 3 months, following the sound of a heartbeat. And now, because I hear this familiar welcoming song, I know that here is where I will make my red. Am I human or am I salmon is no longer a question. My transformation is complete. I am Chinook, happy and proud to willingly spend the last of my life force so that my species, Onkaronka Shawashaw, will continue.
Onkaronka Shawashaw.
The living spirits of my ancestors sing out, honoring we who have returned home. My salmon heart is filled with joy, and I join my brothers and sisters in choral response. Soon I will complete my life's final mission. I will spawn and die, because I am a mighty, fully realized Chinook salmon. I draw a deep breath through my gills and fill my lungs with life-giving H2O. What in the world was I thinking? I'm no salmon. I'm a boatman, and boatman I will remain as long as canyons glow and rivers flow.
It's getting pretty late, Johnny. Lord knows we all need our beauty rest.
Well, that's for sure. But before turning in, let's call up the angel choir and play a gospel song I wrote about the heavenly cruise.
Let's go cruising.
Okay. Well, the Lord spoke unto Noah, foretold a flood and rain, said, be smart to build an ark, store up food and grain, go out and herd the animals, march them in 2 by 2. I've been looking for the right man, Noah, and I choose you. So Noah went out north and south, looked for a mountain lion, found a moose, old mother goose, and porcupine. He brought back alligators, elephants, and polar bears, and a kangaroo, lobos, buffaloes, hippos, and mini moles joined that heavenly zoo. And the angel choir sang old-time songs, and spirits rose higher. All creation felt the vibe, began to dance and harmonize, moving and sing to the beat, wagging tails and tapping feet. Even unicorns heard the tune, knew the flood was coming soon. Noah clapped his hands, he was in the groove, and sang out, hallelujah, all aboard for the heavenly cruise. Then he went out east and west, came back with a goat, a big baboon, a sly raccoon, and a pronghorn antelope. And just when he thought his work was done, Noah laid down on his bunk. Along came Bobcat, following a blind bat, came to beautiful scum. Then the Lord said, Noah, better build an ark, it's beginning to rain. 40 days and nights, the earth won't be the same. Don't fret about the whales, they'll do swell. For goodness sake, you might think this plan sounds strange, just keep the faith. And the angel choir sang old-time songs, and spirits rose higher. All creation felt the vibe, began to dance and harmonize, moving and singing to the beat, wagging tails and tapping feet. Even unicorns heard the tune, knew the flood was coming soon. Noah clapped his hands, he was in the groove, and sang out, hallelujah, all aboard for the heavenly cruise. So on they sailed and all went well, and the rain began to stop. Noah released a turtle dove and waited for the waters to drop. Then one fine day as he lay upon that floating ranch, the dove returned and much was learned from the olive branch. Now, if you hear a voice one day and it puts you to the test, don't waste time a wondering why, just go out and do your best. And when you herd the animals and you march them in 2 by 2, please don't forget me, 'cause I want to be on the heavenly. Hallelujah, all aboard for the heavenly cruise. For the heavenly cruise.
Some of you will no doubt be sad to hear that this is our last song. Well, thank you for your enthusiasm, I think. And for helping to make this night here at the Old Boatman's home special. A 1 and a 2. Sweet dreams to you.